okay, what's up?
I need the iPad charger. Oh, can you see me in it?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was gonna work.
Why would you do something like that?
I was pointing it up.
Okay.
I thought that was going to work.
Anyway, nobody's watching. I'm just wondering, can you hear my guitar? Oh yeah, you can. Okay.
Because it's a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I thought that would work. Okay, bye, Baba.
Okay, so I like it. It's 11 Nights Crunch. I think whenever it's tones like this, I somehow always don't know in what context I would use them. Like for me, this is a lot of crunch. It's almost too much, and in terms of trying to put this as like a backdrop to some of my leads, I certainly wouldn't be gravitating towards this kind of a tone. So with the octaver and the crunch and the drive, I feel like once this guitar comes in, there won't be any space left for any sort of other guitar. And that's why I feel like I'm really not a fan of these crunch tones. Let's see, 11 Nights intro. Okay, right off the bat, a lot of delay, a lot of reverb. The chorus is also on. My guitar is at like that perfect input level where a little bit of an aggressive picking motion is going to sort of slightly distort that signal, and I'm just under that. So I think that's always like a good starting point to go into these plugins. So apart from the long tail of like delays and reverb, I feel like the crunch aspect of it is pretty much similar to what the previous tone was. Uh, yeah, and fair bit that I would say. Again, I wouldn't find myself using a lot of these tones by themselves, but they definitely serve as good starting points. 11 Nights lead. Now, leads are a strange thing. I feel like every time I have worked on a lead, which I most recently did for Caramel Sunset, and I'm trying to carve out a tone, my initial goal is always to first finish playing the lead, and then we can just go on this long sort of period of experimentation with different tones, because then all you're looking for is like the best kind of tonal fit to the song or to the part of that song, because it has to be very particular also to what part of the song that the lead is coming in. Uh, but yeah, based on that, I feel like I really have to make sure that my solo is completed and down to the wire, and only then can I start experimenting with tones. And it's almost always that I start off with like some kind of a lead tone, but I tone it the way that I tone the distortion way down. Like I like to hear a lot of the clean parts of almost like a DI sound of my lead, and then only when I'm happy with it will I like amplify it with one of these lead tones and then build from there. In parts of But yeah, based on that, I feel like I really have to make sure that my solo is completed and down to the wire, and only then can I start experimenting with tones. And it's almost always that I start off with like some kind of a lead tone, but I tone it the way that I tone the distortion way down. Like I like to hear a lot of the clean parts of almost like a DI sound of my lead. I tone the distortion way down. Like I like to hear a lot of the clean parts of almost like a DI sound of my lead. But yeah, I'll try to be live more often. I think I have figured it out, and I think the best way to just like generate an audience, because I have like such limited time, like to shoot a video and like package it the way that I'm supposed to. I think live is like the most hassle-free option. So I'll try to do that for a while, and of course, on the back burner, like produce a lot of videos, because I have a lot of ideas. Like there are so many, and I just finished writing the EP. This Caramel Sunset is now complete. I can fully focus on just marketing the EP, getting it out. Of course, there's a learning curve associated with all the songs itself. So I'm going to be learning all the songs. Yeah, and if there's an opportunity to play live, then that's a plan to take the set live. Uh, that's definitely, definitely, that's definitely one of the plans. Definitely, that's definitely one of the plans. But yeah, if you find me like phasing out in and out like this, it's only because if I'm checking like this if the stream is correct. And now that I've established that it is, like, you can hear me correctly, you can hear the guitar, I'll just do more of these because it really felt like a lot of burden. Like every time I sat down for the last year and a half that I have been like playing guitar and like trying to get this EP out, every time I sat down and played guitar, I felt this obligation to complete what I had begun, which is my EP. And in a way, that was adding a lot of like pressure. And the more pressure it added, the more I'd tend to like strayed away from it. And also, a lot of things were just happening in the past, sort of last half of the last year. So now that things have settled down a bit in a lot more ways than one, I am going to find like consistent time. Oh, thank you, Tippy. Everything sounds fine, looks fine. Great. Yeah, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. But yeah, here I'll try to do this more regularly, of course. I didn't even put it on Instagram that I am going live. This is just like an impromptu thing, but I'm going to do more and more of this. So the EP is going to come out very soon, and now I am just trying out Archetype Plini X. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh shit, made a spelling mistake, but that's fine. So this is the lead tone. I'm gonna try and experiment with it a little bit more just to like get a feel of what it is. This is on full volume. Okay. I feel like this is the other lead, which was this one. 11 Nights lead is a little bit. I feel like it's carved out a lot more than what I would want from a lead sound. So a lot of the mids are gone, a lot of the high end is gone, and a lot of like. I think it's a little muddy on the bass side of things. So I certainly wouldn't use it. Now let's try octave lead. I'm gonna try and play the same lead from Raspberry River that keeps coming around. Again, I feel like it's very very carved out. I don't know, I don't find myself taking too well with the octaver part. Maybe let's see, what about this one? Again, more in the realm of what I want, but I don't like the distortion on this. Okay, this is transposed. Too much delay. So this won't sound good unless the song is in 120 beats per minute. So let's see, I have a song at 120. Camino. I've always found this one very interesting. Unfortunately, I don't know how to use it. Maybe at some point. Cumolanirod. I don't even know how to pronounce this, but this one also is very interesting. Very piezo. Like this just reminds me of a piezo, and I would certainly use this sound. Like that's the whole direction that I'm gonna take in terms of the next EP. The next EP is only in my head. It's not even like it's just a lot of different concepts and a lot of different influences, which I'm trying to gravitate. Like that is going to be my sound. It's just an idea, but of course, there are many possibilities of like where I would be using this tone, like especially for stuff like. Yeah, certainly for like chords and stuff, I think this tone is very useful. Electric Sunrise Crunch. Let's just try a new artist. Let's do Charlie Robbins. I've tried. Let's do Clayton King. Whoever is Clayton King. Let's see what kind of tones he has. Oh, I love that. I love that. It's very crisp, very clear. Let's see what amp he's using. Okay. What if I make it bright? Okay, really like that. So I really like these clean kind of tones which have this really nice, clean, carved high end. More towards the treble and the mid, where you can really hear each note and the articulation very clearly. Feel like I can do a lot more with this tone just on the basis of my playing. Now I've changed the pickup. Let's see what that does. That's also how Caramel Sunset starts. So it starts. So I really really like this. I really like the delay and reverb on this. I feel like I can maybe add some drive, but before I add the drives from these pedals, I tend to just go to this amp because I've used Archetype Plini for so long. This middle amp is like an excellent sort of gateway between trying to use the overdrive pedal because I don't know, for me, overdrive is a lot more than I want, and like this amp can just distort the signal perfectly. That's that much as I need. Like all I need is like to cut through the mix with this soaring lead, but I don't want to like overwhelm it with distortion so that that is the only thing that you would hear uh, in context of the whole song. So I want the lead to like sit very very well uh, with the part of the song that it is being played in, and that is one of the main things that Pliny's songs are all about. Like the lead is absolutely incredible and soaring, but it fits so well within the sonic spectrum of the song. And that's of course brilliant songwriting in general. Like he has a great understanding of all the layers and how they work with each other, and that's what makes him like so good. But and which sort of boils down to like how he must be carving his tones out, and this archetype is a testament to all of that. Like he has, you know, carved out all of these tones from all all of his sonic experiments, and there's room for like, you know, tweaking as it applies to me, and that's how I sort of take my starting point. Like I really am fond of this amp. If I can get a physical actual model of this amp from somewhere, because I don't know, maybe someone will figure out like what this amp is modeled from and then be, you know, nice enough to share that information where I'll be able to find it and then invest in one. But yeah, I think it's very close to the kind of amp that I have at home, which is an Orange Crush, which is a 30-watt amp. And I feel like when I experiment with the gain and the gain on that amp, the kind of crunch and the kind of solo tones it gives me is what I'm very comfortable with, and that is what I try to emulate with all the plugins that I use. So let's try how this amp works. So I think it's very loud right now, and that's because of the delays and everything. But because I'm gonna try and push the gain a little bit more than 1 o'clock, so it's starting to distort as you can see. Yeah, I think I'm a fan of that. So yeah, this I like. FLAC MD with sort of this much gain. I think I can do a lot with it, like a lot of like my lead playing.